Hey guys, this is the spoiler review for Spider-Man Homecoming. If you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this at all because we're going to spoil your faces with the web fluids that are going to be coming out of our fucking dick holes.
Smells like a new toy.
Sorry, that was really disgusting. I shouldn't have said it that way. We're really going to spoil the movie for you, so don't watch this movie. Are you done with sniffing the glue?
That smells good. Smell yours. Smell yours.
It does smell good.
Don't be so rough with it.
It does.
Don't be so rough with it.
Sorry, Samara. So, first off, what I want to say about the spoiler review is get the fuck out of here if you haven't seen the movie. And if you have seen the movie, this is what I want to say.
Don't ruin it for
So
yourself.
the reason why the Vulture, Michael Keaton, is the bad guy in the movie is because it makes total sense, guys. It makes total sense. He's gay, and he's just like understanding things, and he's like, you know what, why can't I just be me and be free? No. He is a bad guy, and he's essentially taking revenge on what he considers the elite, which is Iron Man and the Avengers, because he was contracted 8 years prior to the film beginning as a cleanup crew. He had a construction crew. He was cleaning up the Avengers Tower and the surrounding area, and that's big money.
And around.
Yeah, as a construction crew, that's big money. He had a contract with the city and stuff, and he really reminded me of Mr. Mom with the hard hat and stuff, and he was like, guys, we can do it, come on, let's put it together. Like, he just looked like Mr. Mom again. I was like, thank God we have a sequel. But, that's what his job was. And so all of a sudden these assholes in suits come over, and they're like, you guys are done. Like, you're done. You don't need to salvage anything, you're not cleaning up anything, you're done, you're out of here. And he's like...
That cleanup crew is a tie into comics, too, because Marvel actually had a comic book based on just that, like, government cleaning crew for after Avengers situations.
Yeah, and it makes sense. And like, the suits come in, and they're going to take over everything, and Michael Keaton's, like, basically begging the bitch lady that looks like Janet Reno's second cousin, like, what are you doing? Like, I bought 3 trucks, for this job, and, these guys have family. I have a family. We're depending on this bill.
That douchebag was like, maybe you shouldn't have overextended
He's like, well, what did he say? He said, it's over. So, fuck you, bitch. Pacquiao punch.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
And he knocks him out, and, of course, he loses the job. He loses the contract, and he's like, well, who am I? This is bullshit. Basically, what Michael Keaton is saying to this lady, and she's like, well, if you don't like it, or, report to my superiors. He's like, who's your superior? And it shows Tony Stark. Tony Stark has made this crew called the, I don't know what they're called, the cleanup crew. There's something like that. I don't know.
Avengers?
Damage control. Damage control. And, and then they're sitting there,
the trash Avengers.
Yeah, and, Michael Keaton and his crew are sitting around in, like, his hideout lair, which he already has.
Evil lair.
His evil lair that he already has. And it makes sense. Like, as funny as it sounds, one of his crew members, and it makes sense what he says, he's like, they blow shit up, and now they're getting paid to clean the shit up. So, it makes sense.
It's misguided, but it's true.
It doesn't, he doesn't say exactly like that. And then, Michael Keaton's like, he's like, yeah, that's fucked up. One of his crew members say, hey, isn't this the, the alien technology? Because that's another thing. There's all that alien technology just laying around for whoever wants it. And, they hadn't, delivered the last bit of it yet. And one of his crew members like, oh, here's some alien shit that we didn't deliver yet. Aren't we supposed to turn this in? Michael Keaton's like, you know what? Let's keep that shit and go hardcore straight out of Compton with that and make our own gun runner arsenal, and we'll just fucking get our own revenge. And that's what they basically become. They create a marketplace for this alien tech, and they develop it as weapons and other things, and they sell it on the black market.
Which they actually had a good point in
that. And that makes so much sense, though. That was such a cool, like, little thing.
Yeah, it was a great idea for the story, but what's awesome about that, they made a great point at one point in the movie where he says, where Tom Holland, Spider-Man comes in, and he's like, why are you such a piece of shit, you fucking asshole? I hope you die. And he's like, didn't Tony Stark do the same thing? Didn't he make his riches off selling weapons to the bad guys? And you gotta be like, for a second you're like, oh shit.
But then he changed, motherfucker.
Sally Jesse Raphael. Shit just turned on its head. But yeah, at the same time, and let's talk about the big spoiler when it comes to the villains anyways, is that at one point Peter Parker gets his date with the girl to the date that he wants. The girl that he's after, he's been chasing. And towards the end of the movie, when after Tony takes his suit away and he's deciding, you know what, I'm just going to be a kid for a little while. He's going to go to the prom. Aunt May helps get him ready. She's so fucking hot, I can't stand my wife.
God damn.
And then
when she tells Peter when he's going to the party, and she's like, oh, your nerves, your body's flowering. And he's like, oh God, stop. I was like, my body's flowering right now for you, my friend.
I'm ready to be Uncle Ben.
Auntie,
I'll die for that shit.
Auntie, come here quickly in the woods.
But he's getting ready to take her out, and in a fucking just cool scene. Now I want to say this: when he goes up to her door and she's getting ready to answer, he's gonna take her to the dance. Right before the door opened, I realized that I was like, oh fuck, her dad's gonna be Michael Keaton. And sure enough, he opened the door.
You always fucking try to sell yourself out to some goddamn Xavier level intelligence.
Dude, it's the truth. No,
you didn't.
I fucking did. I swear to God on my life, I did.
Okay.
I fucking knew it. Okay, it's the truth.
Okay.
I wouldn't just say that and lie about it.
Do you believe in Santa Claus?
Yes.
Okay, then I believe you.
No, dude,
I believe you because you said that.
I swear to God, I knew. Right before the door opened, I was like, oh, it's gonna be fucking Michael Keaton.
I swear to God, she was standing right there.
And then it was. So it was a cool little twist to the movie. That
I had no idea. That shocked the shit out of me.
Because you're stupid.
No, because I just was having a good time, fuckface. So, I wasn't trying to be like, what's happening behind door number 3 that I haven't seen yet?
But no, I knew. And then he opened the door. It was her dad, and they have this great. It was. I always bring this up, but it's the cafe scene in Heat when Al Pacino and Robert De Niro sit down and they talk.
I mean, it wasn't that big.
No, it wasn't that good. But it reminded me of it because they're sitting in the car together, and he's like, "Go on inside, honey. I want to have the dad."
Yeah, that was so weird though.
I want to have the dad talk.
He had to chauffeur Peter Parker and Liz Allen to the dance, and I remember those days when your mom or your dad had to drive you to the dance with your date, and you're like, "Oh fuck," and you're like, "Well, I got to do it." Yeah, that was a cringy scene just in of itself, because at first it's just like cringy because he doesn't know yet, you know.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton doesn't know that Spider-Man and Peter Parker are one and the same, but he starts putting it together, and then he's like, oh fuck, and then Spider-Man's like, Spider-Man already knows who he is, obviously. He's already seen the Vulture without his mask on, so he already knows that Michael Keaton is the Vulture. That part is cringy, but go ahead, what you were saying.
I'm just saying, it was a great...
When he says, go on inside, honey.
The whole thing was great, and it was really awkward and uncomfortable. And coming from a guy like me, whose parents...
Your whole existence is awkward and uncomfortable.
I eat bananas. But no, when I met my wife's parents, it was always the same thing. Like, her dad fucking hated my guts. Like,
did he tell you, he's like... If you fuck with me, I will kill you.
That's basically the conversation. No. But he hated my guts. So, I mean, that's already an awkward scene, but it was so fucking funny because Tom Holland's standing there and he knows. He knows. Like,
oh, God, dude, that was...
The guy in 2B, he knows. But he's standing there and they're like, let's take pictures. And Michael Keaton's character doesn't know yet. So he's like, yeah. He's got the knife and he's like pointing. He's like, you guys are going to have fun tonight at prom.
But that was before he had revealed to, Tom Holland, Peter Parker, that he knew that he was Spider-Man.
He didn't know yet at that point.
No, not at that point. But you're talking about when he drops them off and he tells Liz to go inside. That part.
That scene was great.
When he says, I'll kill you and everybody you love, and then he's like, but you saved my daughter's life in Washington, D.C. And he's like, and I thank you for that. And he's like, I just saved your life. What do you say? What do you say? And he's like, thank you. I was like, oh my God, you were gonna get prison raped so hard the first time you go in, my friend. Because Michael Keaton did that part, it was chilling. In a way, it was just, it was fucking mafia chilling.
Just because it was Michael Keaton.
Yeah, just because it was Keaton, but just the way that, and the way that he delivered the line, it was kind of like in Godfather to me, when, fucking hate the ice maker.
That's my fridge.
What's the Don Corleone, not Don Corleone, who's Don Corleone's son?
Michael.
Michael, and who was the advisor to Don Corleone? Robert Duvall.
Consigliere.
Who was the consigliere? Robert
Consigliere.
Duvall. Yeah, what was Robert?
Consigliere.
What was Robert Duvall's name?
No.
Okay, Robert Duvall in The Godfather, when he tells that one guy in that one scene, and he's like, for old time's sake, you can't let me go, and he's like, and you already know what's going to happen. You know that guy's going to get choked the fuck out and killed. And that guy knows it too. And Robert Duvall... Robert Duvall is as cold as Arnold Schwarzenegger's acting in Batman and Robin. He's like... I was like, oh my God, it's savage. And that's the same... That was the same... that was the same... I felt like how Michael Keaton delivered that line was like, now what do you say? And he's like, thank you. And he's like, have a good time. Show my daughter a good time. Not too good of a time. I mean, it was fucking goddamn Michael Keaton. It was so good.
I gotta say though, if Michael Keaton was not fucking the greatness that is Michael Keaton, then that villain could have had some problems.
They probably,
but him being Michael Keaton, he's so fucking great as an actor, and he's so great in that role that Marvel has a great villain.
So that's essentially the
Lee Pace was good too, by the way.
Lee Pace, yeah, but
underrated.
Michael Keaton's character, that's his whole shtick, is his motivation behind being the Vulture, and the reason why he's called the Vulture. I mean, he's not really referenced as the Vulture yet, But you notice him as the Vulture because he steals all the tech, and it makes total sense that all the technology that's left over from all the wars that the Avengers have had with Ultron, with the alien creatures in the first movie, and all the other shit that's gone on in between, he just steals that tech like a Vulture. He swoops down and he steals the stuff from like security like trucks that are going and storing it. And that's why he's a Vulture.
But at the same time,
but he's doing it because he wants to stick it to the man, I guess, in a way. He wants to, because he got fucked on that contract job, and he's tired. He was tired of living down. Basically, he was Michael Douglas in Falling Down. He was tired of it.
But at the same time, you could feel the scriptwriters and the director. They really couldn't make up their mind. That was one of the tiny little problems. If you want to look deep into the movies,
well, that was just one.
One of the tiny little problems with the movie was that they could not decide whether or not they wanted to make him a bad guy or make him a Sandman type likable character. Because even when Michael Keaton takes out one of its henchmen, when the dude's like, and it was that, I think it's the dude that fucks Megan Fox. Danny Michael Green or whatever was like, I'm the Shocker, the original Shocker.
He went out with a smile.
Yes. When he kills him, he
I thought that was the anti-grav gun.
yeah, like the dude straight up like, I'm gonna tell on you, and then he kills him, and he's like, oh, I picked the wrong gun. Like they really could not make the decision if they wanted Michael Keaton to be a bad guy or a good bad guy.
I think he was more along the lines, like I mentioned in the non-spoiler review, like the working man class hero. But he just wasn't the family man, misunderstood villain that they were trying to go for.
He was never too bad. He was never too good.
Like, well, when he was introduced as Liz Allen's father, you felt that the movie makers and the directors and the scriptwriters were maybe thinking like, okay, we're going to go into this scenario because he'd already mentioned his family once, but they didn't establish enough that he's believable as a villain that's misunderstood, that he just is doing this for his family. At that point, he's already been established, and it makes sense. He's greedy, which, I mean, he's a villain for that, but he's greedy in a way that he wants the little man to succeed. And if they were just going with that full-fledged and he didn't have a family, I'd be like, fuck yeah. There'd been no problem with it. When you introduce the family tie-in, it's like, it's too little too late.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you're successful now. Now he's successful. They've made a bunch of money using these weapons and stuff. And his argument about Iron Man made his money the same way. I get. But at the same time, it's like, but you're successful now, and you're still doing this, and you're still killing people, and you're still willing to let the city die for your own, not the city, but, people in it, die for your own good and kill this kid.
The other villains that are mentioned and referenced to is we do get introduced to the Shocker. And we also get introduced to...
which is two in the pink, one in the stink.
That's the best way to have sex the first time. It's not. That's a terrible way. Don't you ever do that.
That would be a terrible...
Unless it's somebody you paid for. If you got to ask about it, buddy, you can't afford it. And also Scorpion. I think that's his name. Scorpion, Mark Garrigan. I'm not sure. But, and when the extra credit scene happens at the end of the movie, it references the Sinister Six. Because the guy that got busted on the ferry is Scorpion. I'm assuming that's his name. I might be wrong. I think it's a Scorpion. I don't know. But he talks to Vulture because the Vulture obviously gets captured. And he's like, there's a rumor that you know who he is, that you know who Spider-Man is. And, again, playing that good guy role, he's like, if I knew who he was, I'd already kill him. So you don't know how Michael Keaton's going to flow that way, but it was referencing the Sinister Six.
It's almost like they fell so much in love with Michael Keaton, like we all did. They hated to see him as a bad guy.
Okay, but speaking of the other spoilers that go on, let's see, Spider-Man. There's not really. I mean,
he doesn't wipe very well.
Yeah, he uses baby wipes, and those are effective. But sometimes he needs to use the triple roll, and he doesn't want to do it. But yeah,
he's so busy. He doesn't have time for
sometimes
friends.
He just uses his web shooter and makes them.
He was like, fuck wiping.
But no, Spider-Man, his suit is a spoiler because his suit is fucking badass. Dude. When he unlocks the powers of that suit, it's ridiculously cool because
you get
the basic standard of the Spider-Man suit, right? What you saw in Civil War, right? It looks cool as hell. It's fucking awesome. It's got the Ditko kind of stylization to go in with it, with the webs under the arms.
But you get the Jarvis, dude.
When you get Karen, which is the suit computer that he names Karen, when you get that going on too, because he has to, his fat friend Ned Leeds, which is a cool little character. I thought he was great too. When he finds out, after he's found out that Spider-Man and Peter Parker are one and the same, he helps Spider-Man. He actually does become the guy in the chair in this point. And he helps Spider-Man, at this point.
Not the dude whacking off in the corner, but the guy with the headset doing important shit.
Not the guy on the couch either. Hey guy, did you kill my dog? I don't know why, B, but I believe it. was from Half-Baked. But yeah, Ned Leeds, or Ned.
Kill.
He's like hacking into the computer, and he finds out, or he's through the computer hacking into Spider-Man's suit, and he finds out that there's all these fucking cool abilities that the suit has that he's not unlocked yet. It's like a video game. You have to unlock it stage 1, stage 3. You unlock another colorway for those shoes that you just got in NBA 2K17. You're on rookie mode right now, bitch. No, but he unlocks all this stuff. And he's like, well, like, it's called the Training Wheels Protocol, and Peter Parker's like, fuck, just take it off. I'm not a kid anymore. And then he like takes it off, and the suit is badass. Like, he's got these 520 something different variations on his web shooters. He can do web bullets, web shockers,
kill mode,
web and potatoes, web and shrimp. That's about it. So there's all these cool variations on it, and that's how Iron Man designed the suit, so that it would unlock over time, which was a cool little key play, again, in that father figure kind of thing when he was ready for it. But of course, Tom Holland's not going to wait around for it. He wants the suit unlocked now. And it's kind of sad because when he gets to talking to this computer suit thing that he names Karen, you can tell how lonely he is, because there's one scene where he like follows this shipment of illegal guns and shit that he's going to try to take from the Vulture, and he goes in this secure warehouse. And he's in there, and he's talking to Karen about his love life and about things, and you can tell how lonely he is because he has nobody to talk to, really. And he's like, God, how long's it been? She's like, 37 minutes. Like, 37 minutes!
It also shows good towards his like ADD and spasticity.
Yeah, that's
like, it's
cool
perfect
thing.
For his character.
I think that's why we enjoyed it so much. There was just so much ADD thing going on. Like, I don't know. And then ultimately what happens is that he reaches too far. He tracks down Vulture. He's trying to interrupt the deal with another arms shipment. He fucks up a thing that Iron Man was already put in place. Iron Man or Tony Stark had already contacted the FBI to have them watch this. They were gonna bust Tombs right there, but Spider-Man, being overzealous and not letting people in the loop, fucks that whole deal up. And when he does that, he almost costs the lives of all these people on the ferry. The Vulture gets away with the shocker. And then Iron Man has to save the day, as you see in the trailer when he's putting the ship back together. And he goes on the dock, and that's what we were talking about in the non-spoiler review, when he's like, I want you to be better than me. And, he's like, give me the suit back. And he goes, that's when Spider-Man's like, I'm nothing without the suit. He's like, if you're nothing without the suit, then you don't need to wear it, or you don't deserve to wear it. He's like, Jesus, it's only my dad.
Great fucking
I was like, holy fuck, it was so good. It was so well done. I know that nobody's going to care about it, and I know that it's not going to get noticed at academies or anything like that, but that moment, those 5 minutes were just so fucking well done.
Robert Downey Jr.'s got that hot flavor.
It wasn't Casey Affleck good in what's that movie that he just did when he's talking to the lady about
Manchester by the Sea?
It's not that good, I know. but that scene between him and his ex.
Yeah, it's touching.
But it is a touching moment.
Robert Downey Jr. has been able to do that throughout the whole entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like he'll take.
But it has more special impact in this.
He'll take these whole little moments and just make them fucking spectacular and amazing. And another thing about the reaction between those two, you'll see when Robert Downey Jr. is in the car talking to him. He's got a kitty cat shirt on, by the way, which is fucking awesome. But you can still see the little black eye that he got from Civil War. And the way that they tie this movie into Civil War is in a fun, loose kind of way, whereas this movie stands alone on its own. But there's several moments, like when you see Captain America, you saw him in the trailer doing this, when he's talking to like the gym class or whatever about like how to be a good guy. Hannibal Buress is fucking funny in this movie, and he even says, he was like, I'm pretty sure he's a war criminal, but whatever. Like they actually
the state requires these videos.
Yeah, they reference Civil War in that way, and it's fucking perfect.
Dude,
since we were talking about the suit, we gotta mention this. At the very end of the movie,
yeah, I was gonna get there.
Holy
the very
shit.
end of the movie,
go on then.
When Spider-Man stops and saves the day, he stops the Vulture, he brings him down, he gets Happy Hogan to notice, I'm not such a bad guy, dick face, do you see? And Uncle says, I'm gonna take you to see Daddy Stark. And he takes him to see Daddy Stark, and Daddy Stark is impressed with little Parker. And he said, Penis Parker. Penis Parker. When I say Parker, you say penis. So they go to Avengers compound, which, by the way, the entire movie is them moving from Stark Tower to the new Avengers compound, which tells us that Iron Man is going to play a very big part in Infinity War, because he's going to, he's moving all of his shit there anyway. And when he gets there, Tony Stark basically, it's funny, dude, because Tony Stark's like, he goes, I'm glad that you've done what you've done, and that's a great thing. And I knew that taking that suit away was the best tough love. And then Peter Parker's trying to interrupt him. He's like, just say yes. Can we just say yes? That was a good thing. Tony Stark, Robert Downey is shining at his best as Tony Stark in this. And then, basically he says, I want to introduce you as the newest member of the Avengers now. And that's what Tom Holland's wanted the entire time. And then this, he opens up this new, this little back wall, and the new suit pops up that he wants Spider-Man to wear. And holy fuck, dude.
I don't get like this in movies, but when they showed that suit, I literally was mouth agape, fucking staring at the screen I could not believe it. It shocked the shit out of me. I did not expect something to be that fucking cool. It reminded me when they showed this suit. It had this black gold. It was this shiny chrome feel to it. That Spider-Man suit was dope as shit, man. I literally went. I felt stupid. I felt like a child in the theater. This suit looks so fucking cool, you guys. It reminded me of when the Power Rangers movie came out officially, and they showed. Remember when they released those toys, and it was the Power Rangers toys. There was the chrome, and there was so. It looked like that. It was like the Spider-Man version of that, and it was the fucking coolest thing ever. And then when Spider-Man turned him down,
I was pissed. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding?"
I wanted this in my life.
You say yes when Tony. When someone asks if you're a god, you say yes.
That's why no one will remember your name. But and then Pepper Potts comes out. You get to see her, and you get this.
I was crazy. Gwyneth Paltrow popped up out of nowhere.
It was kind of a confusing scene too, because they were like, "Well, what are we going to tell him now?"
The ring. I don't get that.
Because I guess they weren't engaged yet. Because they mentioned it in Civil War, was it? Where they mentioned that they were having problems.
Yeah, they were split
because of what happened in Iron Man 3. But I guess they're still together. Well, they're going to get married.
Maybe.
It's like a Superman.
You know what?
Engagement is off.
Actually, it makes total sense, because if Tony Stark dies in Infinity War, you marry him up in this, or you allude to it, and then they get married.
It'd be cool to have a marriage scene.
Yeah, and then he dies.
That sounds dorky as shit.
Well, I think
I feel that way.
But it would be more tragic in that if Disney pulls the gun out on your face and then pulls the trigger, it's possible, but I don't know if they're going to go that far. But that would be tragic as fuck. You imagine that happening. Yeah. But anyway, and then like you said, Peter Parker turns it down and he walks away from it. And I guess he thought, and he even turns around and is like, well, this was a test, right? That I was really going to join the Avengers and this suit and everything. He was like, yeah, it was absolutely a test. And he walks away. And then, the door opens up and you actually see there were actually reporters in there waiting, and he was going to do it. But, Spider-Man's like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this big time action. So that was cool. That was a cool thing to see, because it does take a while in the comic books, and even that Spider-Man takes a while to join the Avengers. And
I actually way more enjoy watching Spider-Man just be a neighborhood, just be a neighborhood like Spider-Man, like Tony Stark wanted to be. Again, it's fun to watch him be a kid and go through all this stuff. It keeps it separate from this overall world-building shit they're always having to fucking do. And for me, it took the movie out of that universe, and I was able to enjoy this just as a standalone movie. And that was probably my favorite part about the movie.
That's like Guardians, man. You can have a good time with Guardians in that way.
Yeah, and even now they're trying to tie into it. For me, this stood alone as just a good movie without even needing the Marvel Universe. It was so fucking cool. And mentioning suits, by the way, when Tony sent the droid suit or whatever to Spider-Man, that was so fucking good looking. That chrome and shit on it. Man, I was kind of pissed when it wasn't Iron Man in the suit, because it was so badass looking.
I also want to mention that the suit that he has, his bullshit suit. I don't know what else you want to call it. The cheap ass suit that he has to use again after Tony Stark takes the actual Spider-Man suit. It was kind of cool, man. It looks like shit. It's true, but it looks like it's a real thing. It looks like something that a kid would make in his fucking little closet or something. Yeah. And it kind of had hints of. Do you guys remember the Clone Saga, the Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider? When it was all red with the little ripped T-shirt, it kind of looked like that for some reason. I don't know. Everything about this was done right. And also, I want to mention that they do a lot with Tom Holland with his geeky side with Peter Parker, because he is scientific and he is smart, and they showcase that a lot. The way he makes the web fluid. Sometimes they also showcase him. He does stupid shit, he makes Legos with his best friend, and he's smart. He knows how to do tracking shit, and he tracks stuff. He's not just relying on, oh well, somebody else will do it for me. It was cool that they did that versus the Maguire. Maguire didn't really show much with Maguire.
Well, what they did with Maguire was actually what I love most about this movie, away from it all. They made a on purpose effort to not retell the same thing that other movies had retold. In the previous movies you saw with Harry Osborn's dad, they wanted to go out of their way to show that Spider-Man was an amazing chemist and all this shit. Not chemist, but he was he was smart as shit. Yeah. It felt like the movie made a concerted effort to get away and not retell anything that the other movies told before it, making you completely forget that this is the third reboot of this character. Basically, they did a fucking fantastic job of that, and I thought not having Harry in it was great. What they did with MJ, I loved, because she was just in the background, but then she shows up. I love that. I love how him and his best friend had this relationship together, like you mentioned, the Death Star, stuff like that. They took the character and they weren't afraid to change the character from the comic books, like the main story of the comic books, just a little bit to make you forget all the other stuff that's happened, making this movie stand outside of the Marvel Universe in a weird kind of way, and also outside of all the other Spider-Man movies you've seen. I could just enjoy it as a fucking movie. Yeah. And that's why I give it a 9.5.
You're my mid leads.
No.
But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 10. I loved it I loved it beyond you, I guess. And I just think it's really refreshing to see this finally, well, not finally, but again happening with Marvel, that you get something like Guardians, it reboots it, refreshes it, and then, you know, you go a little while and then you have something like this come out, and again, it's a refresh button. It's like, finally, we don't have to worry so much about all this other shit hanging over in the air. We can just have a good time and watch this cool spectacle and a real life cartoon come to life, a real life comic book come to life, and have a great time watching it. The acting is superb. It's fucking great. The storytelling is great. There's a few slight problems with it, but still overall, I had a great time. I think anybody watching would have a great time. And there's not much, you don't have to like really like sit there and really, it's not a thinking man movie, I guess. It's not like one you're like, I mean, so if that happened, then that means that might happen. And if that didn't happen, then that didn't happen.
I'm sure there was 100 Easter eggs in the fucking movie, but I just didn't care. I was enjoying this movie alone, by itself. And I fucking,
so yeah,
that's what Marvel needed from me.
Thank you, Marvel.
Thanks.
You've done a great job with Sony. Now make a fucking Godzilla movie.
What?
Didn't Sony? No, they don't own it.
No. They didn't. But yeah, no, even talking about the Easter
I like
eggs,
your cassette tapes,
and even talking about all the Easter eggs and all the shit tied into this, I'm sure we missed a couple things. Like, there's a moment in the classroom where the scientist teacher's talking, and you see like Albert Einstein and shit in the background, and you can faintly see Hulk, Bruce Banner as one of the pictures. There's a mural in the background at one point, and you can see a couple characters from the Marvel Universe.
Damn, did you look that close?
I just, you know, it's no big deal.
I was like, no.
But no, in all seriousness, the way that they tied in Michael Keaton's character with being on the Avengers cleanup crew back to the situation that happened 8 years ago, the way that they showed that, like, this was on the outskirts of what was happening with the Avengers. You saw the old tower, you saw the new tower. They were moving over there. I absolutely.
They were moving on up.
This tied in to the whole Marvel universe in such a they managed to tie it into both Spider-Man and the Marvel universe in such a quaint, like, understated way that I was able to enjoy this as a movie by itself. I'm not ready to say it yet, but I'm really close. I gotta think about it. I gotta watch it like 6 or 7, 8, 9, 12 more times. But Tobey Maguire's always been, like, the Sam Raimi version of Spider-Man has by far always been
Spider-Man
my
2
fucking favorite.
Spider-Man 2.
1 and 2, man. I love
Spider-Man 2 is better.
They're just so fun and crazy and out there, and you can feel Sam Raimi in those movies. But this is so good. It's got a very good chance of being my favorite Spider-Man, both in Tom Holland and in the movie itself.
I think so, man. I think I called that when we were watching the trailer. I think I said it was going to be the epitome of Spider-Man. I think I said that, and I was right.
Do you want a cookie laced with heroin?
Yeah, I would like you to feed it from your fucking mouth.
Overdose on it.
I'll give
it to you if you promise to die.
I promise that you'll come with me when I give you AIDS. But anyway, it was a great movie. I had a good time. I think that Tom Holland is the quintessential Spider-Man for this generation. I think he's the best Spider-Man that I've seen, followed by Garfield, then Maguire. I think the storytelling was off the charts amazing. And who you were talking about, which I agree, he is Spider-Man's greatest villain, but introducing him too early is also a problem, meaning Norman Osborn and Green Goblin. He is definitely in the works. I'm sure they're going to throw him out sometime, but I want to see Spider-Man develop a little bit more, and then who knows, can we throw out some Venom, a real fucking good Venom early on, and maybe a Carnage?
Tom Hardy's going to be Venom.
Yeah, so we can have those and then sprinkle in, you know, Norman Osborn hanging around. That would make more sense, because Green Goblin is, you know, and also, I didn't mention this, but another little maybe note as they tip their hat is when in the DC scene, when she's falling, MJ, the elevator, and he uses the webs, and he pulls her up. You know, he broke Gwen Stacy's neck that way when Green Goblin dropped her from the Brooklyn Bridge, and he did the same thing, and he broke her neck stopping her because he wasn't fast enough. You weren't fast enough, were you, Spidey? But no,
you gotta be quicker than that.
I just saved you $1. But yeah, I just thought that was an allude to it. So you know, it's cool that they didn't introduce those characters yet. And I hope the next villain is I don't know, like I hope the next villain is somebody like maybe they give Rhino a chance. Like I don't know.
Well, the whole thing is
Rhino. I know he was in Spider-Man 3, but he was done such like or Spider-Man 2 or Amazing Spider-Man 2. He was fucking shit.
What they're saying is that the second Spider-Man Homecoming film, or the sequel to this movie, is going to take place immediately after what happens in the Infinity Gauntlet. So basically, you're going to see what happens in the Infinity Gauntlet, and then Spider-Man 2 is going to pick up the pieces. It's very interesting.
You know what could be, guys? Think about this.
My crotchal region
what
is
if,
correct.
What if it wasn't? But what if he gets the alien symbiote suit from the Infinity War and we introduced a Venom?
Well, Tom Hardy's going to be Venom already.
Yeah, I know. He'd be in Homecoming too.
Why do you have to be racist, though?
Why would he be racist?
I don't know, who knows what the fuck's going to happen.
It could happen. Because, you know, he got the symbiote suit from the Secret Wars. And, you know, and if they're going to go to a different planet, he could get a symbiote suit from the Thanos era thing, or in the universe, whatever, to fight Thanos and give him extra powers, and he takes it back to Earth, and it's the fucking Venom suit.
Calm your crack.
I just figured out things. The number 23, the goddamn pen is blue.
Comment down below, guys. Let us know what your thoughts are on this movie as Tom Holland. Do you think he's the best? Do you think this is the best Spider-Man movie? All of it. Give it to us down deep below. And I'm sure we missed 100 fucking things, but you know what I love about this movie? It's not about the Easter eggs. It's not about the tie-ins. This is a great fucking fun-ass movie to watch, and it feels fresh and original in a way I never expected. I did not have as high... This movie fucking surprised the shit out of me. Like, I thought it was going to be good, but it surprised the fucking bejittle juices out of me.
I love it.
So, comment below, let us know. We love your fucking faces, and if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn opinion.
You love that goddamn wham? Then why are you waiting? You fucking Billy Jack, one-eyed Willie. Fuck.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah. You know what? We did a review. We watched a movie. We watched a movie.